And we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 126, and I'm joined once again by our good old pal, SP Andersen. How's it going, brother?
How we doing, Ray? What's the haps?
Doing well. I'm glad to have you on again. Hope you're feeling better, brother. I know you've been on the crutches as of late, so
2 more weeks, hopefully.
Hey, there you go. That's some good news at least. Hey, here's hoping. But
make sure
no,
fall again there.
there you go. I'm glad to have you on again, as we're here to talk all things courage and power this Saturday. It's all things TCW. As everyone knows, you are currently the GM of TCW, so we got to talk to the good old SP to get the breakdown for this Saturday. So. But before we get into all of that, before we get into this card, that it is a stacked card we want to talk about, we have to once again remind everyone that the drive is still going on with the food bank collection. Link, as always, is in the description down below if you want to make a monetary donation as well. Again, they will be collecting this Saturday at the event, so please bring some items to donate. Again, it definitely helps a lot to be able to help these families that are in need, and especially, again, with these times it's still very cold outside. So think about that and helping someone that could really need these meals, this amount of money. Just help out.
People are hungry in the summer too. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. So. It's, you know what it is? It's always, you think about it, it's that cold season that just makes it worse. When you start to picture just what's going on and everyone that is, especially in need,
Talking about that, shout out to 2 people in particular, Jay Akira, Seth Nelson, as it's on Facebook, and his wild animal crew out in Ohio. They did a lot of fundraising for this. And Shane Fair did a signed Topps card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that for sure.
And people paid a lot more for him than he asked, which was great. And he donated everything. So shout out to those 2 specifically, to Billy. Everyone at Titan for sharing the posts and everything. Frankie Picard, especially, he's been sharing a lot of them. Lois Thomas at United Wrestling Coalition, she's been collecting at every show. So I want to thank her too. And everybody that's been supporting the cause. So
there you go.
Keep it up. The donation page is still open. I was going to close it at the end of February. We have it open still. We're at 783. I'd like to get it to 1,000. So, I mean, if anybody can donate a couple bucks here and there, we'd appreciate it, But like I said, 783 right now, and that's still pretty good. So I'm pretty proud of that.
All right, there you go, right there. So, and here we go. We got our good buddies, Wes and Kyle, in the chat.
Hey, Wes. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Wes? How we doing, Nancy? Rocco.
There we go. Shout out to them. Thank you guys for tuning in here. But let's start getting into this now. Again, the great cause there. Once again, the link will be in the description down below for anyone that wants to donate as well. Let's get that number up. But let's talk about this here matchup that I've been looking forward to see. It is that Titan Championship matchup here. The heavyweight championship on the line. Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone versus Savage Season himself, PJ Savage. And this one has this one's been stirring the pot a little bit here. We've seen the comments from Anthony Gangone. We've seen the reaction by the Titan faithful here. The Titan Nation are reacting to this because it all started a little under a month ago. We started seeing the comments. We started seeing where originally we had the matchup scheduled for Civil War. It was Anthony Gangone versus Titan Tag Team Champion Black G's. That was for the Titan Heavyweight Championship. And the champion almost felt like Titan management they were pushing it out already, that it was already a set done deal that Anthony Gangone would retain. And that didn't sit well with the champion. He knew that going into a matchup with a veteran like G's was something that it's not an easy task. It's something he respected to go in there with G. So your thoughts on that, SP? Let's get your comments on that situation before we get to the title match this Saturday.
Now, personally, I would never overlook a person like G's because I've known him pretty long and I know him pretty well and I know what kind of competitor he is. But as far as Titan management pushing the match against PJ, I mean, that's our show and that's the match that we had booked and that's what they were pushing. I mean, even though Anthony could have lost the belt to Black G's, we still had a match booked. and that's the match we were pushing. If you look at the WWE or any of these companies, they push what's on the pay-per-view. There's title matches on house shows. A belt could change hands, right? Is that someone being overlooked, or are they pushing what's advertised? So we pushed what's advertised because it's going to be a hell of a main event. And in the event that G's did win that match, would have been a quick graphic change, take Anthony out, put G's in, and then we would push that match because that would be the advertised match. But nothing away from G's. That was a hell of a match. I was sitting there at ringside for the whole show, and I got to see all our Titans that were there in action. But that match was off the charts, and I was really happy with it. So
there you go. And here we go. We got our good buddy Coltrane in the chat saying
Yo.
SP in his house. There you go.
Me and Coltrane are gonna have a little sit down this week.
Ooh, there you go. That's gonna be a hashtag dope production right there.
He knows. Hashtag 5.
There you go. And here we go. Weston Kyle saying these are two of Kyle's favorites right there. Definitely, again, PJ and Anthony Gangone, both some favorites in that Titan Nation. And here we go. We got the good sis saying what's up. So now let's talk about this. Let's get into Saturday's matchup now. Let's talk about this championship match because it's bringing.
Let's get into it.
It's bringing something out of both here that I'm surprised we are merely days away and we've yet to hear from PJ Savage, which is not like PJ.
That's not true.
Have you heard from PJ yet?
PJ did put something out a while ago. That's why I've been a little puzzled by Dr. Sleep's accusations about waiting to hear from PJ.
Yeah.
PJ did put something out a while ago, and he was yelling and screaming as Anthony Gangone said he usually does. But yeah, PJ put something out. I mean, maybe
I feel like it
was
was
later. Maybe it just hasn't been seen.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. I saw the little clip of it. I now that I started thinking about it, I did see something, but I feel like again it's one of those where it's not the usual when we talk about promos and we talk about the productions. It's not what PJ usually does. It's like Anthony Gangone said. We usually get that ferocious side of PJ when it's main event Savage, like he likes to call himself. Correct?
I think maybe we're seeing a little bit, like you said, a little bit of a different side of him. Maybe he's trying to be more about just action and not and less about words.
Hey, I can't blame him either. Again, when you're going into a championship matchup, maybe he does want to have that different side to it, especially to try to be calculated when going into this.
Yeah,
or
he's got Gangone thinking too. He's obviously in his head because Anthony's, thinking about what PJ's doing.
Hey, I can't blame him there. But I got to think about, is PJ ready for this Saturday, or is he's also stepping into being a little bit of a corporate PJ, if I'm not mistaken. He's now taking
a busy day there with the free for all in the morning.
So again, I'm not trying to count PJ out, but does he have a little too much on his plate that's taking over his mindset, pun intended?
I don't think so. I guess we'll see on Saturday night, but I would never count PJ out of anything. I think he's got everything it takes to, one, be a champion, two, lead our brand. No, nothing against Anthony. Obviously, I'm fully behind our champion as a locker room leader, but I think PJ has what it takes. So
no, I definitely, again, I'm not taking anything away from PJ, but just bringing up here that again, maybe there is a little too much on his plate right now when it's going into a matchup like this. But again, I can't wait to see what happens and to see who will be walking out of Courage and Power this Saturday as your TCW heavyweight champion. But here we go. Let's go back to. There we go. Speaking of the champion, here we go. Anthony Gangone.
Tell our GM. Okay, tell our GM.
Okay, what are we telling him?
Tell me what, Mr. Gangone.
There you go.
Put him to sleep again. Oh, he's not going to put me to sleep. PJ,
no.
The show, not the match. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
There you go. Again, we're not getting that full PJ vibe. It's usually that. It's usually instantly we get something from PJ. We get something it's ready for the main event here. Usually any match he's in, he gives us that promotion like it's the main event. He's in the main event this Saturday.
Could be a little calculated. I mean, he's got Gangone messaging into the interview with the GM about what PJ's doing. So,
but again, he wants to be respectful to the GM here. He could also just put you to sleep again. This could happen.
He almost did.
It could happen again.
He would do that again, though. I think he's a nice guy.
He is. He's a good friend of mine. But
He'll put PJ to sleep though if he's given the chance on Saturday. I'll tell you that. And
that's
Anthony is an amazing champion. Everywhere he goes too, not just at Titan. I mean, I've seen him wrestle 1,000 other places, and he just always brings the intensity. And he's so skilled in submissions and grappling and like every aspect of professional wrestling. Like he's just awesome. So I am very proud to have him as our champion.
There you go. But now from that TCW Heavyweight Championship, now let's go into the middleweight division here, as it is the TCW Middleweight Championship will be on the line. Let's talk about this three-way dance here, as you have Chris Cage, absolute Chris Cage, making his second appearance here with TCW, coming back here, as you now have the debut of the Destroyer God himself, a veteran of the game, Ghost Shadow, will be making his debut, and both will be challenging against the international shining star, Ray Kalitri, defending that lovely TCW Middleweight Championship here. Let's talk about this one, SP. How did this three-way dance come together here? And how did we finally get Ghost Shadow to come to TCW here?
Well, Ghost Shadow and Cage have history, obviously. Cage is pretty much a student of Ghost Shadow, if I understand that correctly, right? Right? You know their history a little bit
Yeah,
more.
look, both have been able to go around similar paths as well. Ghost Shadow, a member of that Doghouse alumni.
Doghouse, yeah.
So we go to the Doghouse alumni. We go to Chris Cage, learning not only under the tree of Ghost Shadow, but especially of the Maximos. Both units have been able to mold what we see today in absolute Chris Cage. And so there's definitely that bond there.
Yeah, and obviously, like some people know, I guess it's not obvious, but I was working over at Project with you guys, and that's where I was really introduced to Chris Cage and to Ghost Shadow. I mean, I saw Ghost Shadow a long time back on the circuit, but it had been some time, so it was a nice surprise to see him at Project. But I mean, to bring both of them into TCW, something I've wanted to do, and we got Chris in the 5-way last time, a 5 or 6-way. My mind slips a little bit, but and I mean, they're both worthy of a middleweight title shot. I mean, this is going to be Ray's biggest challenge, I think, to date, because he has not one but 2 opponents. But he does have AJ Pan out there, so I mean that kind of evens the odds a little bit. But this is going to be a stellar match. I think any of these 3 could walk out with the championship. So, and any of the 3 would make a great middleweight champion. So. What do you think, Ray? What's your prognostication on this one? What do you think?
I'm looking forward to this one, but we also have to talk about this because you talk about evening the odds here, right? With AJ Pan. I feel like Ray Kalitri, technically, if we look at it, has the advantage here because La Conexión isn't just AJ Pan and Ray Kalitri. He also has this giant right here.
Yes.
He has the Titan Killer in his corner, which SP, I know when you talk to Saris about coming back to TCW, I don't think this was the idea you had. You didn't expect this to be the outcome of bringing the Titan Killer in.
I mean, I was more expecting Vince to walk his own path. This is definitely not what I expected. And when I found out he was the one that jumped Merc at Escape from New York, I was pretty pissed off, honestly.
I'm still surprised though how I missed him. Like I was in the building at
Escape from New York. I mean, he must have slipped out of the bathroom and pulled a hucklebuck on him. I don't know, man.
I don't. That's a big guy to miss. But hey, again, it happened. We're now here. We now understand he's a part of La Conexión. I tried to get to the bottom of it with Ray Kalitri, and he kind of he gave me some the go around with that answer.
Yeah,
so
he's not going to ever give you a direct answer. He's going to dance around it. That's what he does.
But again, I get it. It's what he does to be able to maintain that international shining star status. I get it. This is why he is currently the middleweight champion. And I know he's going to do the same when it comes to this Saturday, especially going in there with a veteran like Ghost Shadow and going in there with a specialist like Chris Cage. Again, he's going to have that advantage to him. But I don't think I feel like we might not even see Saris in this matchup. I feel like Ray Kalitri,
he will be there. He is going to make an impact.
He will be in the building. We have been confirmed he will be especially in action on Saturday.
Mhm.
But I feel like we won't see his presence as much in this matchup. I feel like Ray Kalichi would have a little bit of respect, I would assume, for the veteran and Ghost Shadow.
Ray
Again,
will
I
do
want to say
anything
this.
he can to hold that belt, Ray. You know that.
I'm just trying to be. I'm trying
I
to be
won't put
again.
anything past Ray Kalitri. I'll put it that way. He's an amazing wrestler, but he's also very smart and he's very
This
underhanded. So
this is true. Again, I'm just trying to be cordial here. I'm trying to be a little unbiased. This is what I do here. This is the journalism I try to bring to the podcast here. But again, it could happen. We'll have to wait and see for this Saturday. But SP, where do you want to go now? Which of these amazing matches should we tackle next? Because we do have a lot more title matches to talk about. Should we go to the next one or?
yeah, I mean, let's go to that Mob Fi TV championship there.
Okay, there we go. Just give
MoFi, I'm
me.
sorry, MoFi, Mobile Film and Television.
There we go. We'll just edit that out. We'll make sure it's all good there. But
Uh,
let's go to this
Marcus,
here.
don't hold it against me. We're all good.
It's all good. Here we go. Let's go to that, as that championship will be defended here, as Blaze Haram will be defending against the NWA Zone Daisy Kill here. Let's talk about this, because Blaze somehow, some way has been able to now, with the newly named championship here, is what now replacing the hardcore division now with this great championship here. And again, Blaze Haram he's held that reign of terror over TCW. He continues to get his way now with the Black Dragon, as him and Rick Recon have now formed this alliance that I still don't get how that's going on, especially with their history. I still don't understand that. Maybe one of these days I have to try to get him or Rick Recon on the podcast. They're hard to get a hold of. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, we should set something up with Blaze. He'd be more than happy to come on and spit some gibberish and some rhetoric at you.
We'll try to set that up. But when we get to this matchup here, and now again, just like with the hardcore division, it's bringing difficult challenge after difficult challenge here. TCW trying to make sure this isn't just easy peasy here for Blaze Haram, especially when you bring in someone from that National Wrestling Alliance like Daisy Kill here. So talk to us about this one, SP.
We felt that while the hardcore championship was something that fans enjoyed, we don't want to necessarily go towards the hardcore thing. There's deathmatch companies out there where you can really get hardcore shows. You want to go to your GCW, your ICW, your XPW, I think's another one now. You can get your blood and your gore there. We wanted to do something. We wanted to have a belt that was more geared towards not say combat sports, but just a prestigious title that was more about wrestling than hardcore. And we felt that Blaze Haram was worth a lot more than a hardcore championship. The guy is skilled as hell. He can punch. He can box. He can do all. He knows MMA. Like, he's a serious wrestler too. And we didn't want to just pigeonhole him into this hardcore thing. So we came up with, well, I didn't come up with it. Billy and the gang came up with the idea with Marcus from Mofi TV, and they came out with this championship. So we put it on Blaze. We placed the hardcore title, and we want to start bringing in opponents that exemplify good wrestling and skill, and that are known a little bit further than just New Jersey. So we looked
Gotcha.
at NWA. Of course, we know Black Jesus there, and Wrecking Ball Legursky and a bunch of other guys. We see Daisy Kill, who's been feuding with Trevor Murdoch, I believe, down in NWA. So we put the ball in motion, and now we have this match. I think it'll be probably one of the show stealers. Both these guys can put it all out there. I don't want to sound generic. I mean, it does sound a little generic.
Hey, it's one of those where the cliche it still stands though.
But
It's one of those where
vicious, dude, and
yeah.
so is Daisy Kill. Like, these guys are going to kick the hell out of each other, but they're also very proficient in wrestling. So
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what kind of a match to expect.
Hey, it's one of those where it's better not to be able to have that expectation. It's more of, again, this is why people have to come and see. This is why they have to get their tickets now, so that way they don't miss what this matchup is going to entail this Saturday. And here we go. We got Jay Akira in the chat saying,
There he
I'm
is.
late. My bad. No problem, brother. Again,
Hey,
it's better late than never.
thank you and the Wild Animals. If any of the other guys are watching, thank you guys so much for all the fundraising you did for the food drive. You guys are awesome.
There you go. Thank you again to them. So now let's get into this one. Before we move on, here's another matchup. I definitely, before we go into anything else, I want to talk about here because it's something where it continues this unstableness of Ben Castle here. So let's get into that. Let's talk about two men that were as close as brothers, friends. The story's out there already. It will be Ben Castle going head to head with the virtuous one, Abraham Khan. And this matchup, it's a little weird here when you look at it. Because usually in wrestling, we get that tale. We get the good tale of bad versus evil. You try to look at, and with this one, I don't know if the Titan Nation knows who to cheer for in this one. When you look at this, because Ben Castle, again, we talk about that insanity. We talk about just the tactics he's done now, lining himself with Frankie Picard here. And then you have Abraham Khan, who I'm a big fan of. I love Federated. I love what they're doing there with Abraham Khan. But I know the Titan Nation might not be too keen on Abraham Khan here. So your thoughts on this one, SP, and what's going down with these two and their paths crossing this Saturday?
I think they just don't know Abraham Khan that well yet, honestly. They've seen what's going on with him and Ben, but Ben's been such an overpowering figure. And they know who Ben is. They know who Frankie Picard is. And they know that Abe and Ben have been friends for a while. I mean, that's been put out there. But I just don't know if they're connecting with Abraham Khan. I think he has to really make a statement at this show and show Titan Nation who he is and what he's about. And for him, I mean, that shouldn't be too hard because he's going up against, like you said, that best friend, that former best friend. Like, what more do you need to bring out like the intensity and the passion and like than to go against somebody who is your best friend that's been like dogging you for how long now? So that one is gonna not be a technical masterpiece. It's gonna be a brawl. They're gonna kick the hell out of each other. So that's what I'm just telling everyone. That's what they should expect in that match. Ben's
Definitely
still
so.
working on his arm drags and his hip tosses and his, Larry. He's gonna come out and he's gonna punch and kick and just pummel and destroy and try to make Abraham Khan part of his world. And he's trying to get that message out there. So
this is one where I have to use the phrase again. It's not for the faint of heart, especially for those younger that are coming to see the show. This might be one, maybe cover their eyes for a little bit, because it's definitely going to be one of those where it will be that grueling style, that grueling fight style, because these two have something to prove here. These two have something where Ben Castle, again, we've seen that damage he does in that ring. We saw it for a while with him and Frankie, what they were doing to each other. Imagine two guys that are now, again, a unit, what they were able to do to each other. Imagine what he's going to do to someone he feels like, in Ben Castle's mind, which again, I don't want to say too much to not piss off Ben Castle, but imagine what he would do to someone that he feels betrayed him almost here.
And I'd watch out too, because if him and Frankie are going to team up, I mean, they could be contenders for those tag team championships as well. So
that's something I can only imagine.
Not to put any ideas into their heads, but
yeah, let's not get them
thinking ahead a little bit. So
let's not get them thinking, especially when we do have that number one contenders matchup, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. But let's go back to our comments here. We got Wes and Kyle saying they love some Ben Castle. How, Wes and Kyle? I don't get.
I'm very confused by Wes sometimes.
I don't get it. They've been doing this every podcast now. They're surprising me with who they're supporting. I'm like, where is this going?
Support everybody, I guess. That's cool.
Hey, I guess you know what? Like I said, I'm trying to be cordial. Yes, support Ben Castle, just so they're being smarter than us right now. We should be supporting Ben Castle. That way we don't
support Ben Castle unless he's gonna bring lots of fans in and sell me lots of tickets.
SP, you're already in crutches, brother. You're already in crutches. Let's not piss off Ben Castle here.
Only 2 more weeks. Hey, speaking of being on crutches, man, it's not really gonna matter on Saturday that I'm on crutches because I will be at ringside.
Ooh.
And I think you know what graphic to bring up.
Well, then I guess it's time to talk about it here because
how much time do we have left, Ray?
we're still good. We're still good.
All right, because I want
But
to talk about a couple of
let's
other matches too,
yep,
but I need to say a few
no
things.
problem. Let's get to this one because I knew you have a lot to say. This is one where SP, the floor is going to be yours. Let me just lead you in here because Saturday we see it. It will be Aaron Roxas going head to head with Flash Carter here. We're hoping to finally see the straight up matchup here after the brutal assault by Roxas and Johnny Moran here. We're finally going to a one-on-one contest here. SP, take it away here, brother.
So Johnny Moran thought he was going to be slick and try to pick on the fans at the last show. He didn't expect, and I honestly didn't expect him to be there either because I told him not to come to Titan shows for this reason. That my son was going to be there that nobody really knew about and that I didn't know about until about a year and a half ago. So, um, but I didn't want him around the shows because there's a lot of like creeps, that like to pick on the weaknesses of people when they're vulnerable and stuff. And I think that's what Roxas has done to Johnny Moran. When he saw Johnny in a low moment, he snuck in there like a little inherent disease and picked at what he knew Johnny wanted to hear, what he thought Johnny needed. And Johnny is kind of like lost right now, and it's because of Roxas, I feel, because we know Johnny is a different person than that. So when he decided to go pick on my son, and my son showed him what was what, pinned him 1, 2, 3, Roxas decided to sneak up on him while he was celebrating and put hands on him. And as we saw, I jumped in the ring, and what went down went down. But um, I wanted to make sure that we could get these two in the ring, and I'm going to be ringside. I know Moran's going to be ringside. I've got two crutches, and if either of them tries anything, I'll have one with Johnny's name on it, and I'll have one with Roxas's name on it. And I don't care if my leg's broken. Um, I'll get in between them and my son if I have to. But I don't think I'm going to have to because Flash has earned everything that he's got, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. People that know him won't be surprised because they've seen it. But Roxas has something coming to him. I'm going to have more to say about it this week. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow night. But
There you go. I'm
uh,
looking forward to that to
you're
hear.
going to
So
see a different side of me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm taking the GM hat off for that. I won't be referee SP, the Zebra King. It won't be GM SP. It'll be the father. And you don't want to mess with my family. I'll tell you that much.
I got you, and I completely understand. Again, that's a line where again we see this side of the dark horse. We see this side of Aaron Roxas here, which I don't know if Aaron Roxas has a good side to him. That's another one where I feel like
Terminator.
I feel like I might have to try to sit down with him as well just to try to understand what's going on in that head.
Dude, he'll put
But
you to sleep. Have you ever heard him talk?
I I tried to watch his episode, but his mic
Mr.
doesn't work
Ray
really.
Sanchez,
Yeah, his
how
mic usually
are
doesn't want to work, so I don't know about that.
you
You
tonight?
would think for guys that call themselves professionals, they would have at least a decent microphone. But again,
No.
I digress. When we talk about this, we talk about the personal side here. We talk about what they did, knowing that because I can imagine they knew what they were doing. They definitely knew they wanted to pick at you, especially being the GM of TCW. Um, I do again. I just want to, as a friend here, I do want to say, just be careful Saturday because I feel like they want you to be there. They know they want to tear at those heartstrings a little bit and get you to do something that unfortunately might end up putting you again in a worse position here, SP.
Yeah,
So
I'm willing to put it on the line, Ray. I mean,
no,
if it's gonna put me away from wrestling longer, so be it. But
again, I hope that
I'm
it
not
doesn't
letting
get
them
to that.
pull anything. I might have a surprise in store for them, not for nothing.
Hey, again, you do have some friends. There used to be some. I believe there's 4 other guys you could call that. But hey, you never know. Throwing up to 5 there. You never know. But let's before we get to the rest of the card here, let's talk about because it truly has been.
Line
Billy
it up.
loves to say it here. Charlie likes to say it. Everyone at TCW likes to talk about. It truly has been all gas, no brakes. And just look at the schedule so far, and it's not even half of what to expect this year. we're just looking at basically the next month and a half so far.
Yeah, this is
as we
up to May
continue.
20th here.
So imagine that there's still so much more to come. It begins Saturday. You have that free for all starting at 8 a.m. this Saturday. That's
Yeah,
going to
keep
be
that
that
up. Keep
opportunity.
this graphic up there, right,
Yeah.
for a few minutes so we can
Yeah.
talk about just those two on the
Yeah.
on
No
the
problem
left
about
there.
that.
So the free for all, that's going to be on Saturday morning. That's at 8 a.m. I'm pretty sure it's full now. I don't think we have any spots left. You can contact Billy Fetsky or actually contact PJ Melly, PJ Savage, about that. I don't know if there's any spots left, but that's how you get into what's now Chosen Pro Wrestling, which PJ is going to be running with Daniel Alexander, Johnny Moran, Riley Shepard, Gabby Belpre, a bunch of people. And that's going to be on April 15th on Saturday. That's going to be their first show, Inception. So those two are pretty much going to be Chosen Pro Wrestling. It's called TCW Presents Free for All, but it is going to be basically the entryway into Chosen, which is going to be an entryway into Titan eventually. If you want to get into Titan, and you're not like a veteran that has been on the circuit for a while, your way in is Chosen, and your way into that is free for all. So.
Definitely so. And again, when you look at the opportunity here, we had Daniel Alexander on a few weeks ago, and we talked about an opportunity like this is what got him in the door. And look at him now. He's a part of the Titan roster, has been killing it there. PJ Savage, another one who got his foot in the door, an opportunity just like this.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at PJ is now part of the main event this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's one of those where, especially, I believe there might be still one or two spots left, but if there isn't, unfortunately, again, hopefully look out for the next one.
Yeah, I
But
don't
if
know if
there
any of
is,
the guys are watching right now, but if they have any info on it, I mean,
please let us know.
I should know a little something, but unfortunately, I'm not up to speed on it right now. So
Hey, all good. But if there is opportunities, again, take this opportunity, guys. It is only $5 to get in,
$5.
and you have the chance to not only be scouted by TCW and Chosen Pro Wrestling. You have Wrestling is Now will be there. Funhouse will be there. I believe people from Invictus are going to be there. You're going to have multiple companies watching this free for all to get.
IWA.
So you have a lot in there. You have a lot of people coming in to check this out. So definitely you want to come in to do this opportunity. And again, you don't know where it could possibly lead next. And you don't know, you could possibly be that next person when we talk next year's event. You might be in that same spot as PJ right now. You never know.
And you can see the other events there as well. We have Next Level is April 29th in Manchester.
Yep. We talk about that. It's already been confirmed at Next Level. We're gonna see that Cage is coming.
Yes, so Return of the Cage. Ernest the Cat Miller as well. Oh no, that's a Rise of the Titans. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's gonna be Rise of the Titans, where I believe also Sonny Ono is gonna be in the building for that.
Return of Sonny.
So that's gonna be interesting there to see Sonny Ono, Ernest the Cat Miller. That's gonna be quite a night right there. So definitely check out that. And then May 20th as well. Sorry, my apologies. Will be the next Goddesses of War event, Wrath of the Goddess. You're gonna see that. Kevin Nass has been working great with that. They're creating this new version of Goddess of Wrestling. Definitely something to check out. And again, this is just some of the events that TCW and TCW Enterprises are creating here. So definitely check out, follow them to see what's coming next and the rest of the year, because you guys are working. You guys are working hard here to continue creating some more events and opportunities to come. So definitely check all that out, guys. But speaking of that, we talk about the free-for-all. That also brings this matchup right here, where you will have a standout match. We will have two of the best standouts from the free-for-all, which will now be the very first match under the banner of Chosen Pro Wrestling here. This is going to be the very first match under that banner that you will see this Saturday. So again, be there to see who will possibly get their opportunity to be a part of a TCW event right there, put on the spot. Again, this is why you wanted to take this opportunity here, because right there, two lucky competitors are getting that opportunity. But also, we have to talk about, it was just confirmed last night by the boss man himself, Billy, Becca Wiley's open challenge will now be answered by the top standout that is a female competitor, will be facing Becca Wiley this Saturday. So the lovely Gabby Ortiz is the one scouting all the female talent on Saturday. She'll be determining who will be facing Becca Wiley on that Saturday night. So again, get your tickets to see who will be answering the challenge here, as we have the Titan, or I should say the Goddess of Honor here, as this event also is a cerebral palsy awareness event. So again, it will be in honor here of Becca, who has been doing a great job dealing with her situation. She's still doing the best thing she can to be one of the great Titans and goddesses here, a part of the Titan Nation.
Yeah,
So
every
there you go.
aspect of her life, her whole life, she's been knocking challenges out of the park. I mean, she hasn't let anything stop her. She does great in school. She does great. She writes on the newspaper at school. Like, she does so many things. And then she's a pro wrestler, and she's still in high school. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that when they see her on shows and stuff. Like, she's still in high school, and she's out there training with Preacher and Cheeseburger and these guys. I'm like, she is still knocking. She's doing things that people in their 20s and 30s are afraid to do. You
No,
know,
and that's something I always
she's
commend,
70
because I've
years
I've
old.
seen her do that too. She's going to the dojo. She's putting
Yeah,
in that
it's
work. She's
amazing,
doing stuff
man.
where it's something where a lot of competitors are, they feel like it's almost over what they're supposed to do. They don't need to train anymore. She's putting in that work at such a young age that it's like it's almost unheard of that someone that's that committed at that young age to be like, no, this is her passion. This
And
is her
that's why the
dream
show
here.
is named what it
And
is, man. I mean, it's about her. It's courage and power is all about Becca. I mean, the two words that best describe her, and awesome too. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, definitely so. And I can't wait to see this Saturday what she does. And I can't wait to see her steal the show again, because that's a matchup I can't wait to see. That's going to be stealing the show. But now let's go into this one here. We talked about championship matches. Now let's go to an opportunity here to become number one contenders. It's the matchup we talked about off air, SP, but let's talk about it here. It's going to be tag team action.
Ooh.
It will be CMD, Unk himself, the Prince of Camden, Deshaun Pratt, and the Nuketown Dragon, Boom Harden, make their way to TCW, as they'll be taking on the lit superstar Sebastian Cage, y el hombre, Johnny Santos, First Class. Both teams looking to make their impact in TCW. And not only is this first time matchup here in TCW, but it also will be a number one contenders match for those TCW tag team championships, currently held by the Demon Saints. This
Yes.
is a match there's so much to talk about here, because one, you have this number one contenders match here, but then you have the possibility of CMD versus the Demon Saints. You have First Class versus the Demon Saints. You have those pairings there that I can't. Either way, it's going to be a barn burner afterward, because you have that pairing. You have Deshaun Pratt, who's also another veteran of the game, who, ironically, in other promotions, he's united with the Demon Saints. He is currently at Callis Wrestling. He is one of the Tri-State Saints, which is also, it's another branch of the Demon Saints, where he's another member of the Callis Wrestling Tag Team Champions with Monster Mac and Black G's. So imagine that's a pairing where, if we see that matchup go down, how will that go down at TCW? And then First Class, who they definitely have studied the likes of Monster Mac. They've been studying Black G's. I can only imagine what's going to go down if we see that tag team match. But then this matchup alone, this is going to, I feel like we keep saying the steal the show moniker, steal the show. This is
Every
one
match
where
is a show stealer on this card, man.
it's hard to say this one won't steal the show here, because both teams I've gotten to personally see, to call their matches. And this is one where the crowd wins in this one, no matter what.
I've
Like, this is
been
going to be great.
I've been in the ring with all these guys numerous times. Boom, way back at the CZW Dojo Wars, when he was a ref. I was helping him ref, and he was wrestling at the same time. But Deshaun, I've been refing for probably 15 years. And Santos and Cage I've known for a long time, since he was in with TJ and Creator Die. And Santos I've just met recently, but First Class, there's no expense, man. And it's not just a moniker in wrestling. It's not just a gimmick. That's how they live. That's like a real thing. And same thing with CMD. They're gritty and they're grimy and they're street tough. And it's going to be a clashing of two different styles, but um, that's tag team wrestling, you know. And whoever comes out on top, I mean, imagine that tag team title match.
I can't wait to see what's the outcome of this, but also the match itself. It's going to be one that I feel like will be
That's gonna kill, dude. It's gonna be amazing.
definitely. Again, you guys have to get your tickets now. If you haven't already, go to that link down below. Get your
Those
tickets.
tickets, pre-sales end Friday night, 8 o'clock.
There you go. Don't miss out on that because you're going to want to be there this Saturday for
Another
Courage and
title
Power.
match too, Ray. We got to talk about. I know we might have glazed over a little bit.
Oh, no problem. Let me get to that matchup right here. I believe you're
Because
talking about
here popping in
this one right here.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that lightweight championship here, as it will be. Like we talked about, he was in the chat earlier. Jay Akira will be in there. Daniel Alexander, Jocko will be in there, and then the defending champion himself, Rocket. Let's talk about this lightweight division here because it's one of those where it's one of my favorite divisions because you get to see that clash of styles there, but it's a little bit of that fast-paced action that everyone loves to see. So let's talk about these four right here. Definitely 4 bright stars in the making right here.
Well, we're definitely trying to have that scramble feel to at least one match on a card. And obviously, lightweight matches are usually where that's at. Not to say we'll limit it to lightweight matches. You might see heavyweight scrambles and stuff. But this one, especially with Rocket as the champion, you've got 3 amazing contenders that have competed for that belt already, too. I know Daniel Alexander and Rocket battled for the inaugural championship. And Jay has been in the mix there the whole time too. He's kind of new. He just came back to TCW recently, and then you've got Jocko, who's, he's been in the scene. He's been a tag team wrestler, and him and Jay lit it up last show. And Jocko came out on top, but this time they're going to mix it up again. It's an elimination match too, so it won't just be one fall. We're going to have 3 falls to the finish. So it's not, one fall and 3 other guys get screwed. It's going to be every man has a chance, every man for himself. And it's going to be nonstop. Like you said, every match on this card is kind of like a show stealer. So, I mean, imagine having this and then having that tag match and then having, like Flash and Aaron Roxas and then having Chris Cage and Ray Kalitri and go, like this is going to be an amazing show. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Definitely. And that's what you want to hear, though. You want to hear everyone actually having that excitement for the card. You want to have that energy for it. And have Jay Akira saying, "Ooh, I want to talk about this." Well, Jay, if you check your messages, links there. If you want to get a mic here to talk a little.
Jay, we got a little bit of time here.
You got some time if you want to talk about your matchup here. But again, this is one where that excitement comes in. This is something I can't wait to see now, especially when you add in that elimination factor. That adds a whole nother level because it's already hard enough trying to get that one pinfall elimination, a pinfall win or submission, and that's it. You're champion. But now adding that elimination, now you have to fight through it. You have to face all of your opponents here and try to get that win. It's one where for Rocket, definitely that championship advantage goes out the window. So
he's amazing though. Like he's such an athlete. Like the things he does in a wrestling ring. And he's not just a high flyer. He's a really good wrestler too.
Definitely is.
He's going to do everything he can to make sure he doesn't leave the ring without that championship.
I can imagine so. But now let's go here. Let's talk a little bit about our good friends, another part of Titan Enterprises here, another part of the family. Let's talk about Funhouse Wrestling. Let's talk a little bit about them because they will be in the building as well this Saturday. So let's talk about this matchup right here. Oh, wait, here we go. Before we get to that, Jay Akira, can you hear
us, bro? Live from a locker room somewhere in Ohio.
How did I get here? Oh, man.
What's up, you wild animal?
What's up, brother? Good evening.
Just went out for a run and just saw an invitation. I was like, man, I want to be here. Now I am. Holy crap.
Hey, there you go.
So what you got to say for your opponents, man?
Listen, I've been watching you guys for a long time. Even though I've been out of the game for 3 years, I still keep up with TCW. Sitting on the couch, moving from New York all the way to Ohio, sitting on the couch even more, wishing I was in the ring, really want to be in the ring. And now I'm put into this match with 3 great competitors. The very first light heavyweight champion, Rocket, Jocko, Daniel Alexander. I share the ring without Jocko. We all know this. This is a guarantee. But since I've been perfecting the craft and everything, and been, very keen on everything and trying to be the wilder I am. At the same time, I have to outsmart them and show them why I'm the veteran of this company instead of, just a pushover like I was before.
Well said.
Man, there you go. Again, this is an opportunity here. You got that. You have 4 other competitors in here. How you feel that's that elimination style? What's your game plan here?
The fact this is my very first title match ever in my career, I'm going to make sure I grab this opportunity as quickly as I can, as fast as I can, and as smart as I can. Or, do it the best way I can and at least be one of those shining stars in that match. One or the other. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All I know is this is not going to be a match you want to miss at all.
Leave it all in the ring, man. Lay it all out there.
Oh, definitely. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go back out for running. It is extremely cold, and I need to get home. I have no idea where I am.
Thank you again for joining us, Jay Akira. And again, we'll see you this Saturday, brother.
Saturday, bro. Safe travels.
See you.
All right.
And that was Jay Akira there. Yeah. that was quite
wild animal.
That was quite something.
Dude. I love him. He's a good dude.
Gotta love that. But let's go into this now. Let's talk about our good friends at Funhouse Wrestling here. It's going to be that American Luchador Championship being held by another one of my great friends here. He is the current champion, the Psycho Superman himself, Smiley, defending against Eric Corvus here. And this is a matchup where it's one of those where you don't think about the pairing. You don't think, hey, yeah, let's put this guy versus this guy. But then when it's finally put together, it's like, I need to see it now. Because Eric Corvus, another one of those, he's been in the circuit for some time now. You think about Jersey All-Pro. You think about just the come up that he's had. Talk about that. Over 2 decades in the business, 20 years in the business, a veteran of the game. And then you talk about Smiley, that innovative style, that psycho style that he brings to the ring. This is a matchup that I can't wait to see how it goes down. And again, shout out to our good friends at Funhouse Wrestling for putting this together here.
Eric started when I did. I mean, like you said, 2 decades, man. We've pretty much been working since the same week. I think we started the same week, honestly, in this business. But you'll be surprised, I think, at how athletic Eric actually is. Smiley has that crazy luchador style. He's bouncing all over the place, the flippity dippity, whatever they want to call it. And honestly, from him, you don't expect it if you don't know him either, because he's not like a little skinny luchador, but Eric will go toe to toe. I think you'll be surprised. He's a mat technician.
No, he is a great technical competitor.
Yeah,
I've gotten to see
he can move, man. He can move. He'll be. I can't wait for this one. Like I said, I've known Eric a long time, and I think he's been underestimated a lot of places he's gone. I think he's been underused a lot of places he's gone, and I don't want to make that mistake. And I know Magic won't make that mistake since this is a Funhouse match. We are going to have it on our main card because I think it's worthy of a main card match. Not that the other 2 Funhouse matches aren't, but we only have so much room. So, but I am definitely looking forward to this match.
Gotcha. No, definitely so. But again, this is one where I can't wait to see how this goes down, how that clash of styles. But again, I've seen Corvus go in there with the similar luchador style. I've seen him go with quick, some of the best of the best.
He can work that style, man.
Yeah, he brings it again for his style, usually more technical. He can go in there. I've seen them go with likes of the Whisper. I've seen him go in there with a lot of that Chikara alumni. So he can go in there with those luchador styles.
Used to work with the great Antonio Malave at NWS with Dapper and Gino.
There you go. Here we go. We got Jumbo Ref in the chat saying, "What's up, SP?" There you go.
Oh, hey Jumbo, how we doing, buddy?
There we go. So now let's go to another Funhouse matchup here. Let's talk about as they're going to be introducing.
This is interesting, man.
Yeah, this is one where again I spoke a little bit to Valentina about it because
I bet you did, man. This is a personal match for you.
It's weird because you talk about currently Gabby Gilbert and Valentina, collectively known as Dangerous But Fun, are the Funhouse Women's Tag Team Champions. They're holding those titles proudly. They face some of the best that Funhouse has thrown against them. And now they're facing off here on Saturday for the new women's territory championship. So this is one where I get it. You want to put two of the best against each other, but you're putting two partners, friends. It's a hard scenario here to look at because it's one of those where I don't think they want to continue to fight because this has been almost a territory thing right now. We've seen Valentina and Gabby Gilbert go multiple places facing off, and it's one of those where I get they're two of the best going at it, but it's hard to see friends go at it here.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'd want to put a barrier between my tag team champions personally. But I also understand that together they're the two best women in that company. And in a lot of companies, honestly, they're probably two of the best female wrestlers in New Jersey, if not beyond. And what better way to have the territory championship than between two of the best female wrestlers that there are? I mean, it is a negative that they're tag team champions together as far as going against each other. But like seriously, think of the match that Gabby and Valentina will put on. I mean, does it get any better? Who else in Funhouse? What other females in Funhouse could you think that are active right now? Because I know there's some great females in Funhouse. I don't want to put that. You know, we have a women's champion Amanda and Debbie Kane has been there, and a lot of other great females.
Yeah. And no, and again, I get that point of it, and that's one of those where, for when you want to have the best competition, I get it. Sometimes, hey, friends do have to face off. We're going to see that a lot, possibly Saturday. Like I said, we have that battle with Abraham Khan and Ben Castle. Which
have you heard from Valentina about it? Has she expressed her feelings about the match to you at all? Or
we talked a little bit about it, but again, I know she's going to be putting out a statement possibly this week as well. And again, this is one of those where you can't count out either. You talk about Gabby Gilbert, another veteran of the game. She's been all around. When you talk about Japan, you talk about just the travel she's done. And you talk about Valentina making her name still as holding gold everywhere she goes as well. So this is one of those where when you talk about the territory, this has to be the matchup to go. So this is going to be one, again, you guys get there early. Again, this is also going to be a part of the show Saturday. Get there. Make sure you're there to see who will be walking out as Funhouse territory champion here.
You know that's going to be an honorable match too. You don't have to worry about anybody doing anything underhanded or anything. You know, like they're both honorable wrestlers, and I think we'll see that women of honor atmosphere in that match.
Definitely so. But SP, before I let you go here, there's one more match let's touch on here. Let's talk about this because we talked about Ben Castle earlier. Let's talk about the other side here. We got Frankie now. Again, a more ruthless side of Frankie Picard, a more underhanded side of Frank. This isn't the Frankie we're all loving hugging with. This isn't that same Frankie here. And he's going head to head with Blocks, who Blocks still almost feels cheated out after all this. He thought everyone was on the same side here. Now Ben Castle and Frankie basically pulled the blanket over our heads here. Like, so your thoughts on this one, SP?
You know, it's part of that whole feud with like you said, with Ben and Abraham. I think Frankie and Blocks are tied into that. It's all part of the same story right now. Blocks wants a piece of Frankie for what happened in the triple threat. Frankie was the ref. You know, chairs were brought in, low blows were brought in. And I just think that Blocks wants a piece of Frankie. And just like the other match, this is going to be kind of just like a brawl. We know Frankie is a boxer too. So, you know, I don't expect to see a whole lot of you know, technical wrestling. Although, you know, Frankie is a good technical wrestler, but it's not going to be in this match.
Yeah, this is definitely not going to be one of those where we will see that code of honor. We're not, excuse me, sorry. We're not going to see code of honor. We're not going to see the, hey, all respect here. No, we're going to see that fight. We're going to see that slug down. And this is one where, again, if kids are in the crowd, maybe again, just close their eyes for a little bit and not truly. Oh, here we go. And again, we talk about him and he shows up. Ben Castle with Ben again. All good things, brother. Again, we're not trying to start any wars here in your world.
We've got at least one more, right. We have one more Funhouse match I want to talk about before we cut out.
Yep, no problem. I believe that is going to be this one right here. Yes, it is. There we go. We got that Tri-State Championship here. There will be a triple threat match featuring Joey Adams, James Gray, and E Money Millie here. Let's talk a little bit about this one. I've gotten to see Joey Adams and James Gray personally. Money Millie, I'm looking to see a little more Saturday. I get to see him in action. Talk to us a little bit about this one, SP, and what should the Titan Nation expect from this Tri-State Championship match?
Money Millie is someone I'm interested in seeing. He's a young kid. I know he was a high school football player. I know he was training down in Delaware with Tommy the Moose and that group. And I've heard a lot of really good things about him. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him face off with James Gray, who I know he's got a bit of a beef with. And James Gray is an amazing champion too. Don't let me, just that we're going over this last. I don't want him to think we're forgetting about his match. Dude's an amazing competitor. I wouldn't mind having him on every Titan show, to be honest. And then you've got Joey Adams, who's a veteran. Comes from UWA and the Eric Corvus kind of school of wrestling, that kind of just ground. He can be a mat technician, ground and pound. He's not a high flyer, obviously, but he will take a risk every now and then. But this guy definitely, I'm interested to see this match because we have a veteran. James Gray, I don't know how long he's been at it. I don't know if he's a veteran per se. He probably, is going to get on my case about this, and then you have the newcomer in Millie. So I just think it's a good mix and a triple threat. It's going to be a great title match for a fun house. So this could have been on our main card too. Don't get me wrong. This could have made it on the main card too. But like I said, we had so many spots to fill. And
hey, it's one of those. No matter the spot on the card, it's one of those where steal the show from your spot.
Yeah,
it's one of those where even though they're kicking off the night, they can still be that matchup where at the end of the night, they're still being talked about. Oh man, do you remember that 3-way that kicked off the whole thing?
And so James is a guy you should definitely sit down with, I think, because I think he's got a good story to tell.
Definitely. Again, there's always room to have some more more talents on the show.
James Gray, definitely. Get in touch with Mr. Ray and get on the Respect the Craft. Let's go.
There we go. But guys, again, if you haven't already, go follow TCW there on all their social medias. Links will be in the description down below. Also, the link to, if you haven't already, to donate as well. Please reach out. Please donate here to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Get in touch with them and help some people out. Again, it's definitely something that continues to be needed here, especially in these tough times. And again, if you're going Saturday, if you'll be in the building, bring some items as well to donate. SP will be there. He'll be collecting. So definitely come on down. If you're already coming to the show as well, bring something. Again, I know you're going down to enjoy some wrestling, but think about some people that definitely could also use some help this
right. One more thing with that night, we're going to be doing anybody who brings food donation items. For every item you bring, we're going to give you a raffle ticket. And then at intermission, we're going to raffle off whoever wins. You're going to get a signed 8x10 of your choice of the wrestler on the show of your choice. So if you're going to bring food, have in mind who you might want to have it signed by. And we'll try to get you that 8x10. We did it at Goddesses, and we couldn't get the show poster that we wanted to for Lisa Carlin. But instead, we're giving her a ticket to this show. So that's kind of something we did at Goddesses. So Lisa will be getting a ticket, on Titan for this show. So
there you go. But again, think about that, folks. If you're bringing something in, we talked about that whole stacked roster right there. Who knows? Maybe you want the champion himself. Maybe you want Becca Wiley. Again, we're talking about it's a night in honor of her as well. Maybe you want her poster right there. Maybe you want.
That's who I'd pick. I'd get Becca's autograph. So.
There you go. There's a whole plethora there. And again, also in the building, we didn't even mention current tag team champions. He talked about it last night. The Demon Saints will be in the building this Saturday. They're going to be scouting that number one contenders match.
We'll be there.
Definitely come on down to see this stack night. Again, if you haven't already, links to get your tickets will be in the description down below. SP, thank you again, good brother, for coming in and talking all things Titan. Always a pleasure here. Thank you again for coming on, brother.
Anytime, my brother. You know how it is. Hashtag dope, baby.
There you go. And guys, everyone watching, as always, thank you so much. Please don't forget to always be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.